Right, welcome back. Last time we've mainly been setting up for further reforms later, as well as reaping the rewards of massive tax income, although stuff has slowed down for the moment due to, well, dumping 15% of my income to the clergy to keep them happy. I've also been keeping the elites happy, because I'm prepping for something that's probably going to make a lot of them very, very mad very, very quickly. Specifically the nobility. They're not gonna like what's coming to them. I've also grabbed the first couple ideas in professional army ideas in order to get some yearly army tradition, since that's pretty much the best way for me to gain more. Definitely going to need it, that's for sure. Yeah, well... And I've also done a little bit of reform, I believe, unless that was the previous time, in order to further help with provincial corruption, which is still going down, which is very good. Also, a ruler change occurred, so that now I've got this guy, the just guy, with 052. Due to authority reasons, because institution and whatnot. It's actually a 2-4-3 as far as points gain is concerned. And yeah, that means executive authority is at 50%, so the power void provides only plus 25 to the resting point. The next ruler is probably going to end up 252, which is exactly the same. So, I just hope I can get to someone that's actually good, although perhaps I should disinherit. Yeah, the current rule is 30, and the likelihood that I'll get someone that manages to be worse than a 9 is highly unlikely, so... Okay. Yeah. I also need to figure out who I want to put here. I think I'll just do a regular general. Why not? Because I do want to keep drilling. Especially since that reduces army tradition decay. Which is extremely helpful. Alright, and there it came, but I don't have the screen up. Ah, it's not even at the top because Aragon is no longer a valid rival. Have we surpassed them? Probably, because we're a great power. Yep. 242, that will go up to 343. Excellent. Or at least better than 9, it's 10. Great. So many aldermen. Natural science. Ah, fine. I'll move farmer as well, and let's upgrade both, so I can keep getting lots and lots of points. Fine, I'll finally have a noble advisor. I'm sure the nobility will be a bit happy with that. It does look like I'm perhaps a bit too stable for my own good. I don't need this much stability. In fact, it might be high time to do a minor reform, if only just to get it to be a bit better in that manner. Although nothing I can choose can actually lower stability, so I guess not. It just feels weird to have it at max. I don't have anything else to work with. What? Okay, right. Let's think about it. Rivaling France would be a terrible, terrible idea. They're world power number 2 for a reason. I mean, Castile is world power number 3, and Aragon is world power number 7, but that's for entirely unrelated reasons. I'm not entirely sure why our developments are lowered a bit though for certain countries. I mean, Lithuania has no lowering. I think I might be the only one, as at least among the great powers that has everything embraced. Yep. Quite a few of them are missing meritocracy. Yeah. Quite funny, I have to admit. Right, well, I've got a lot of money and I don't have much to do with it. Let's see here. 2415. 2415, okay. I'm assuming they all get the same communication from the same place. 845? I wish there was an easy way to check province ID here. 845. Ah, okay, yep. Figured they all take it from Akanul. Well, I could check communication speeds. 99.164%. What about Akanul? Yeah, okay, so Akanul is better, at least in speed to reaching the capital. So I figure the best thing to do would be set up a better harborage. Especially in short lee. Getting extremely good communication in short lee is the key to getting good communication down here in the southern provinces, which are difficult to integrate, to say the least. That short lee might even, well, okay, yeah, given good enough communication, if I can bring it all the way up to, say, 90%, that would be excellent. I mean, this has a very high level. Chakdama is high level. Maybe a bit closer, but not by much. What is their communication? 88%. Okay, so that's about the best it can be for the time being. It does look like they're about to hit zero autonomy, though. Excellent. 843. Yeah, so you probably get it from there. 846. That's probably Kopul, isn't it? Eight, 4, 3, okay, so that's the same as this one, so it's almost certainly Chakdama. 843, yep. 845, which is Akun. Okay, so there's no jumps in between. So perhaps, I think it would be best to set up a little bit of... Okay, there's no residence here, so there's no means for me to really do that. So thankfully, it does seem like a lot of the elites are themselves putting money into this sort of a thing. Which is a good sign. Certainly is. Right, okay. Let's get Shortlee's harborage up by a lot. Just want to know how much it would take. Improve infrastructure. Harborage. Let's try rank 6. Seriously, only 600 ducats? I was expecting more. Well. It'll also give me more naval force limit and better commerce output, and this province is a minor center of trade, so... I probably should increase parallelism first. And also check population. Let's see how many units I have available. Of labor from residents. 4.5. Wow, there's not many jobs here, are there? Yeah, urban wages are extremely low. A construction project might be able to help. What the province really could use is some industry. The industry itself doesn't seem to be that profitable. Probably be best to check here for the actual profitability. Luxury cloth seems to be the best. Okay. I'm not honestly that surprised. Right, let's set parallelism to 8 for this project. I believe it's going to be a lot of units, so it's 124 units. Whee! That's going to take a while. Clear selection. And dump 10 ducats into industrial investment here. There we are. I may need to look into improving coastal communication in the south in the future. I haven't really done an infrastructure project in a while, especially since, for the most part, I didn't find that necessary. I also need to read up on exactly how communication works in 3.0, because in the past it was best to chain trade harbors so that they have so that you have one per sea tile, since they could resupply quickly and therefore not carry as many supplies and whatnot, making it slightly faster, etc. I guess. I mean, I never... It makes sense in a way, but yeah. Although I do have to admit, communication here doesn't matter as much. Because all it does is affect... It no longer affects unrest, it just affects autonomy change. Yeah. 3.0 has certainly made it so that autonomy is no longer nearly as important as it was before. It just shows level of difficulty in taxation and how much power the elites have. That's it. There's nothing more to it. Ah, looks like Castillo's finally gone ahead and reciprocated. Yeah, that's the term. Ah, so I'm being embargoed by Castillo specifically. Otherwise, I'm just embargoing England, Aragon, and Castillo. Apparently, I have a lot of effect on the American West Coast. I don't know. Where's the American West Coast? Caribbean. Wait, is that even a trade node? Mexico, Andes, Panama. Oh, this is the West Coast. Whoops. That's the eastern seaboard. Oh, I see now. Bit in the Andes, Guyana, West Mediterranean. Huh. Caribbean and the Channel. That must be from my merchants doing their thing. Oh, and it's also 1630, so it's time to grab tech and possibly ideas if I can afford those. Probably grab, yeah. I can afford a mill idea. In fact, it costs more to grab an idea at the moment than it is to grab tech. And I can grab more ideas. Formal education. Don't think I can afford that and that. So, yeah, that just reduces it by about 3 points. I can't do that both, so I'll have to keep that army tradition up. Okay. I might as well just grab the Diplotech. I could theoretically grab fractional banking if I wanted to, but no. Advanced Casas Bellies. Oh. Admin tech. I can also wait and grab more from ideas, but I also need to override. I also wanted to do reforms too. I can also want to do, yeah. Great, I'm conflicted. At least the bureaucrats have enough influence for that, so I don't need to worry about that. And the burghers as well. I think I'm gonna go to aristocracy and extensive charters. I don't think I can afford much of anything else. Right, question is how much can I'm going to spend if I try that? 250 ad points. I might also want to do this. That's another 250, so 500 in total. This will cost me 253. Damn it, not quite enough if I wanted to do all that. This is pretty important because it will let me get more money and yearly state reach, but I don't actually need money right now. Then that yearly state reach would be great, but the rest is entirely unnecessary. Alright, I'll take it. School teachers. Query, can I grab rationalism as well? Because I am looking at that urban efficiency buff. 250. Nope. Well, I guess we can wait. Let me read this first. Formal education. Learning on the job is all very well and very good, but it imposes some limitation on subject matter. And in a job where exotic thinking might be the key to victory, it is not an intelligence gap we can afford to tolerate. Land leader, fire +1. Regular pay. Cavalry flanking damage modifier plus 50%. No tactics plus 0.25. Land morale plus 0.1. Infantry shock plus 0.15. Goldsmith banking. Trade efficiency plus 1%. Settler growth plus 2. Enables a 2-decker. Not for me though. I have to wait till 3 deckers in 100 years from now before I can build heavy ships. School teachers. Yearly corruption minus 0.02, so resting point for corruption minus 0.2. Right. Time for reforms. The nobles are not going to like this. But I have to do this eventually, don't I? How much will this cost me? 15 legitimacy, 3 stability, 60 aristocratic loyalty, 60 relations between the aristocrats and the state. And the effects of this will last for 10 years. Plan out further reforms. Urban charters. The burghers love this. Societal instability for 15 years. Recent reforms will apply for 10. Oh, I'm gonna drop all the way down to -3. There's nothing here I can do that will help us with, well, cost stability points specifically, huh? No, let's promote anti-competitive practices. I might as well use some of the loyalty. This cost a lot to push through, but I've managed it. Okay. Grain dole, full grain provision. Brings me at least a -2. Stability points will reduce though because of reasons. Huh, okay. The nobility have less gravity. This will lower their power dramatically. I believe gravity affects the base power level. The burghers at the very least will provide a lot of support to me. I cannot provide the nobility with anything really. Baptism by boot camp. Alright, I've got that. Okay, so what did I provide them? Okay. I disowned a relative that will expire in 1631, the noble concessions in 1635. The noble marriage later this month. Okay, I can do that again. The influential burghers expires later this month as well. Alright, just gotta wait till 1630. not 1630. The 23rd of January. Which should at least help tide me over for a while. There we go. I probably should also steal maps. Well, I'm not actually planning on doing that much to the aristocrats now that I've done this. What's next? To gentry. I need aristocrat administration and career soldiery. Minus 15% aristocrat gravity. Ooh. Free peasantry on aristocrat property. No longer pay feudal dues. And reduced taxation of resident and burgher wealth by the aristocrats. Reduced autonomy from the aristocrats and reduced power from wealth. Ooh, they would be furious for a very good reason. Although I also have to say it does appear that the coloring is slightly, yeah. That green should not apply for anything other. That whole mess of green after that 30 bureaucratic influence should not apply to anything but the rural governments. And specifically for that minus 15% and minus 33% and minus 75%. Right, arrange a strategic marriage. Promoting lesser nobility is not a good idea. It sure makes them incredibly loyal, but I'm specifically doing this in order to reduce their power. Basically giving them 10 power is far, far too much. This, though, I believe I can handle, although I'm not gonna like having the aristocrats at the very top again. At least they're not gonna do that much. They're gonna raise my legitimacy gain, and while they will raise autonomy level, that's not going to affect that many places, right? At the very least, my capital will remain at 0 autonomy so long as, in this province, so long as nothing silly happens. Alright. Oh, and I probably should steal maps, right? I had forgotten about that. Where to now? Well, I probably know more about the North Atlantic. Perhaps all of it. Really just 3 provinces? Probably not. But who explores this area? Alright, now for Aragon. Yeah, you should know all about the Maritimes, right? It's about time I actually saw it. Yep. Except for that wasteland right in the middle. Of course, Nova France. And also a tiny little Vinland. From Denmark, Norway. Yep. Oh, now it's gonna handle that one missionary. Koyatok. Well, that's at a 0.3%. 100% autonomy. Pretty bad unrest. Though stuff should improve with time. Yeah, but these are not being fully fulfilled. Wait, there's mining here? What can I even add as a mine? I don't see anything that would suggest mining. Strange, it has a space for mines different, but I don't know what. Besides, I'm not particularly interested in investing into the province anyway. I would personally prefer that... Yeah, emigration. I would personally prefer that the province's population slowly decrease via emigration. So they don't need to handle it. Although they do seem to be doing fine, so... Otherwise... I think now might actually be a good time to... Yeah, pretty much. Alright, let me actually just do one last thing so I don't forget about it. Claim guarantee, there we go, that should strengthen our hold further. Yeah, so... what have we managed to do? Well, if you can see by how much the stability has dropped, major reforms! Thankfully, stability is increasing rapidly, because the aftermath has disappeared mostly, so... And my income has not been heavily affected. Provincial corruption is going down, however, autonomy is also starting to increase again in general. Because the aristocrats are now in power in order to keep them happy, because... well, I've gone to aristocracy and that dropped their loyalty by 60. So, yeah, that's not very good at all. It's terrible. I've also given extensive charters to the burghers, so that's now good. Because that increases the effectiveness of the provinces, well, of trade and commerce production. Well, yeah, commerce production and industrial production by 5%. Well, previously it was minus 5%, but yeah. I do want to compare that. Theoretically, okay, con-urban government. Yeah, the later stuff doesn't actually affect anything, just gives the burghers more, so I think I'm going to sit on extensive charters for the time being. Going down this way would have been interesting, but I don't think that's a good idea. Oh well. Let's leave it at that for the time being. Eventually, I would like to get to freeholding. That plus 15% to rural productivity. Oh wow, that's going to be nice to have. Problem is, the aristocrats are going to need to have less than 35 average power, which is about half of what I currently have. Yeah. Man, what a thing to dream for. And the power is also slightly increasing because I need to give them some level of power. Because otherwise the noble loyalty, as I said, is extremely low. I'm going to need their support because factional support has dropped greatly. Well, somewhat, actually. It's not been that much. More importantly, stability has dropped a lot, so legitimacy gain is extremely low at the moment. I'm gonna see if I can get... is that even worth it? Well, it is for 14 years. So that will get me 7 legitimacy. No. Not at all. Yeah. I've managed to eclipse Aragon multiple times. It's been twice. And I'm hoping to get them as a rival again, just to eclipse them again and get even more power projection. Sadly, I can't get anything more but send an insult if I really want to, but I don't think that's a good idea. At least not until I've done some things to prep up. I could probably influence them. Anyway, so yeah. Yeah, I've done that major reform. I haven't done much else. I grabbed a military idea, formal education, as well as grabbed one in every tech, once 1630 rolled around. The stability effects of these reforms, of which there were only 2, remember? I went to extensive charters and rural governance. So I basically reformed the entire governance of my country, which actually is way worse when I put it that way. Yeah. So the stability effects, which is plus 80% to stability increase interval, they're going to last until 1645, so we're going to have poor stability until then. Thankfully, the power cost increase only lasts until 1640. Still awful, but I can live with that for the time being. I just hope nothing goes horribly wrong in the process. And I can eventually do some more reforms to lower provincial corruption again. Because currently about a quarter of my tax income is going down the drain. And I would like for that to be as low as possible. Although I highly doubt it's going to ever reach zero without extensive continuous effort. But why not always try to bring it down? There's no reason not to. Especially since I can bring it down. By reducing state corruption, reducing the power of all the elites, and reforming laws to improve all this. The aristocrats are becoming a larger source again, but that's simply because they're disloyal. The burghers are almost not a source at all, same with the clergy. That has to do with a combination of lack of power and high levels of loyalty. Right, I've gone on long enough. The clans are almost gone too. Look at that, 1% clan power. Although this is because they're likely gone from all the major provinces. They'll likely stick around as a force for as long as I gain new provinces, I guess. It's going to be difficult to eradicate the clans entirely in a large area, especially if I don't have full control in that area, but anyway, I'll see you again next time. Until then, bye.